We begin, as we often do, with the spider. And as seems to be the constant case these days, it is just creeping just below the trend line. As you can see here, this is about like the 10th day, I guess. We're just kind of hanging out, near lifetime highs or at lifetime highs like today, but just skirting right along that broken wedge. And I think that's worth noting. It's up. We're all green. The energy is definitely waning on that. And, if there's a theme to this, or a thesis, I say it over and over, it's bullish, precious, bearish equities. And that may seem crazy since equities have been so strong, but I was looking at a breakdown of how gold has done versus equities. And it's like, oh, well, sure, this year it's been strong. No, gold has beaten equities on a 1-year scale, a 5-year scale, a 10-year scale, and a 25-year scale. It seems hard to believe, I know, but it's true. And because of that, if you look at stocks measured in real money terms, like measured in gold, they peaked in 1999. And I know that seems crazy too, but that's also true. It's the nominal delusion. The prices are exceptionally high because the value of the dollar is so much smaller than it used to be. Gold's where it's at. Here's the diamonds, which I'm short by way of DIA. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to come up with a little code word when I have to do this. I did it before the show, and I have to do it. I'm like a little boy who goes and builds a sandcastle, and I turn, and a wave is taking my sandcastle down, so I have to build it again. Anyway, there's the line back where it should be. And as with the spiders, we've just been hanging out below the trend line. Unlike the spiders, even less energy here. So like the YM, for example, is now up 0.08%. Not very strong. You can see the past 4 days just kind of hanging out, going nowhere fast, as Mr. Scott might say. But the real story, and it's all over the media now, gold, 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 gold. I've been telling my friends to buy gold for years, and I usually get the response of something along the lines of gold is boring. Because compared to NVIDIA or Bitcoin and so forth, it does seem really boring. But as we've seen, gold is not acting boring at all. It's doing very well. The front month is up almost $60 right now. Cash, the spot price for gold is above $4,000 for the first time ever. And the futures crossed 4,000 yesterday for the first time ever. And it's just sensational. And it's a little bit scary because what does it mean? What does all this mean? Oh, look, I'm lying where it shouldn't be. Okay, I'm just going to say goodbye. You're going to have to get used to like fewer and fewer things on my charts because I'm not going to redraw them every day. We'll just kind of talk around them. Sorry, this is just it's the reality of the situation. Oh, look, it's on a log chart. We better change that too. Anyway, we're in a log chart now, as God intended, and it just keeps tromping higher. And gold bull that I am, every time I try to get cute and defy it, I get burned almost every time. So yeah, it is just a monster. By the way, a couple of weeks ago, I think I said OUNZ, which is kind of a lesser known ETF. I described it as sort of an amalgam between silver and gold. That's not the case. One of you wrote me to set me straight on that. I got under the impression that it was a combination of gold and silver because somebody else who owns a lot of it told me so. Oddly, they're wrong, even though they own so much. So yeah, just to set the record straight, OUNZ is just gold. And here's another line we should get rid of. But for obvious reasons, it's up just as nicely as GLD. So it's this was the base that formed and that completed back at the end of August, and then whoosh, off to the races. Silver kind of backtracked yesterday, but it has shaken that off completely. It undid yesterday's losses. It's up nicely now, almost 3%. And if we back way up to all the data, look at what's going on. Look at this. We are, in nominal terms, back to where we were during the Hunt brothers cornering of the silver market back in the late 70s. We're back to where we were back in 2011. And if you really want to freak out, take a look at this and observe this is an incredible cup with handle pattern, a very bullish pattern. It's older than a lot of people watching me right now. It's huge. This is like almost a half century old. What if this is real? What if this is an actual bullish pattern beneath this line? What's going on? What's going to take place? It's a pretty big deal. What if silver is going to go to $200 an ounce? What does that mean? That's astonishing. We're very close to lifetime highs on this. And by, of course, SLV, which hasn't been around as long as the futures, of course, that also is approaching a lifetime high. Let's just get a line plopped down on that. Yep, there we go. So that's getting close as well. Now, miners also. Let's talk about a couple of miners. GDX. This is the entire history of GDX. This was the base on that. If we go back a little closer to a daily chart, we can see that quite obviously miners have been doing great. They had a beautiful base as well. Let's just fine tune this a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, you can see, it's not as helpful in retrospect to see these things, but it's very plain. The base that was forming where the breakout was, so it broke out, pulled back, confirmed support beautifully, and then racing higher. Just amazing. And our favorite here, of course, the one I've mentioned time and again, is old DRD, which is up just like all the miners are, and is at a lifetime high. Now, let's talk about a bit of a sore subject. First, not so sore, platinum. PPLT, by way of PPLT, this ETF, it's doing well, 3.26% gain. And it had this long consolidation period going for years, and finally off to the races like so. Now here's the stinker. This is what has been the cloud above my head all day. Palladium. Why am I upset about Palladium? I've been bullish on Palladium. I've talked for months and months about what a great chart this is. Well, it's because I sold it yesterday. Wasn't that stupid? I've said it. I've said this on the show many times, and I'll say it again. And the first part is obnoxious braggadocio, and the second part balances it out. I'm a great chartist, really good at this stuff. Why? Because I love this stuff. I've done it for decades. I think about charts all the time. I see charts everywhere I look. I've looked at millions of these things. So I have a reverence and an adoration for these things that you're not going to find anywhere else. I love charts. I'm really, really good at them. But I can really stink at trading. So my observation about Palladium for the low these many months has been spot on. And I think it will go much, much higher. The shame on me bit is that I talked myself out of this position yesterday. Oh, gold's too high, silver's too high, Palladium might go down, etc., and got out. And so today Palladium's having an amazing day. It's up $120 on the front month. PALL is up almost 8%. Shame on me. It's terrible. And, the only hope at this point, because I'm not going to rush back in now because the risk is much higher, even though it's still a great chart. The only hope is that it retraces and comes back to a decent price. But I got to tell you, it doesn't always happen. If we look, for example, having nothing to do with metals, if we look at Tesla, way back in the day, good God Almighty, what is this? Let's see if it writes itself. If I load it again, let's go to Palladium. Let's go to Tesla. Good heavens, that's dreadful, isn't it? Just throw that away too. Back in 2013, I went gaga over Tesla back here. This zone. I'll redraw a little rectangle there. And I wrote about this at length because I was crazy about my new Model S. And I thought it was just the most amazing thing. And I decided this would be a great buy. And I didn't get in, and it shot up. And I told myself, when it retraces, I could back in. You know what? It never did. Look at that. Off to the races. Never looked back. So do as I say, not as I do. The Palladium trade has been and continues to be absolutely great. And some of you have sent me nice notes about that. Dummy here got out yesterday, so shame on me, but it's still a great looking chart. So if you're in it still, congratulations. I envy you. Moving on. There's some odds and ends here that are pretty cool on the bullish side. This is Grab Holdings, has the very cool symbol of grab. This is breaking out nicely above those zones. Some people have gotten really excited about quantum, and I gotta say, this is looking pretty raspy. This is QUBT, quantum computing, and it had a beautiful breakout here. Look what's happened since then. This is zero follow through. This is what I would call a failed bullish breakout. Does not look good. However, one hot sector at the moment, which I would not chase, but one hot sector right now is basically anything with a rocket engine on it. Here's just some I found. This is RKLB, which is Rocket Labs. Here's ASTS. All these are up today, but again, these are very richly valued. So this is AST Space Mobile. And here's TSAT, which is Telesat. I call this sort of SpaceX envy, because if SpaceX were public, it would probably be just a white hot stock these days, but it's not. And I think people just want to get their hands on anything with a rocket attached to it. So they're into this other stuff. On the short side, and I've got kind of a mixed, yesterday was a really good day. Today it's sort of half up, half down for me. A few that are continuing to click the right way. There's DHI, which is D.R. Horton. We're down on this again. Then we've got Halliburton, HAL. This is down nicely, about 2%. IBM had a nice reversal. I got into IBM yesterday during this. It actually was a lifetime high yesterday, and it's down pretty good today. We're off not quite 2% on IBM. And then RCL, Royal Caribbean. This is also ticking its way lower. And the next major test is can we break that support level? So that's all looking good. So just very broadly speaking, and again, it's a very green day across the board. Small caps, the Russell is still above the trend line. And so it's near lifetime highs. It has not violated this trend line. It's still rock solid until such time, if and when it ever does, snap that April 7 trend line. The NASDAQ, oh look, a line I have to move. The NASDAQ is a little, it's pretty solid, but it's starting to kind of tease here and there, a penny here, a penny there, but it's still pretty solid on that line in spite of some of the kind of intraday shocks we've gotten from time to time. It's still clearly in an uptrend. But as far as the ES goes, it's in the same wedge, obviously, as the spider is. And what I'm watching closely is whether it can break below that wedge or not, as the spider has. The ES hasn't quite done it yet. So anyway, I say again, hats off to those of you who held on their Palladium. It's done great. I think it's got great, great days to come. And I will see you tomorrow with more charts. Thanks for coming by.